Good morning, and we are looking at the crucifixion itself, Matthew 27:33 through 34, and Luke 23:32 through 34. Two criminals were also led out with Jesus to be crucified. They arrived at Golgotha, which means place of the skull. A specific place outside the city walls was chosen for the people to be crucified, and the place was called Calvary in Greek. And it means place of the skull. It was called Golgotha in Aramaic. Aramaic is a form of Hebrew. And a combination of scourging, the crucifixion, the death on the cross, especially brutal. The victims' backs had been torn apart, and some have even said the bones were exposed. The cross piece irritated the areas that were beaten. The nail that went through the wrist severed a large median nerve, producing excruciating bolts of fiery pain in both arms. And often the victim had a claw-like grip as a response. The painful, extreme pain of the crucifixion was restricted normal breathing. The body weight would pull down on the arms and would affect the respiratory. Person would literally, the lungs would fill with fluid, and they would literally drown. The Romans perfected something the Assyrians had devised, and they wanted to make sure it would last as long as they could and could be as agonizing and exhausting. Death from crucifixion could come from many sources: acute shock from the blood loss, an exhaustion because they couldn't breathe anymore, dehydration, congestive heart failure. The heart literally burst. The victim did not die quickly. The legs were broken, so the victim would be unable to breathe and would suffocate. The soldiers gave Jesus a mixture of myrrh and with wine, and it's to fulfill the scripture. He says he was counted among the criminals. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they are doing." This mixture was numbing, and Jesus refused to take that. Jesus took our pain, took what belonged to us and our suffering for our sin.